Thank you for calling, everyone. My name is Jude. I'm the founder of Ramsell Ventures. And today we're going to be walking through how to identify and overcome bottlenecks within your business. The real purpose of this is to craft offers, right? So what we're going to learn during this session is who are we targeting, what are we targeting them with, and then how can we give them a solution or an offer that they can't refuse. Okay, so that's what we'll be covering today. So, who am I and why should you care? As I've just said, Jude Ramsell, founder of Ramsell Ventures, helping founders become unstuck, right? I speak with founders every single day, multiple occasions throughout the day, and they have very similar problems, right? Same problems generally be focused on their commercial or their operational or their product issue, okay? We're going to focus on the operational side of it, as mentioned today, and we're going to discuss how to overcome some of those obstacles. So my promise for today, you leave with a roadmap to pinpoint and smash your biggest constraint. You learn how to turn your customer's bottleneck into an offer they can't resist. And you'll see why this process isn't optional if you want to go fast. So, definition of a bottleneck. What is it? The bottleneck is the single most important hurdle preventing you or your customers from scaling. Okay? Solve it and grow surges. Ignore it and you stagnate. It's not a list. It's not a vague set of issues. We're going as granular and specific as possible with this. So, how do we identify our bottleneck? Okay? Couple key questions that you should ask yourselves. I would also like to note, sorry, I wasn't mentioned at the beginning, there are a few workbooks at the back. So if you guys would like to work through them as we're going through the presentation, by all means do. So the key question, what is the single biggest obstacle stopping you or your target customers from growing their business or reaching their goals? Okay. And we're not trying to be vague with this. We're not trying to say leads, marketing, vague. Which specific area is preventing them from reaching their goals and overcoming their personal bottleneck for your own? Okay. So no generalities or vague answers allowed. Leads are low, that's a symptom, right? Having low leads is a symptom of a bottleneck. That is not the bottleneck itself. Same with marketing isn't working. What do you mean marketing isn't working? Which part of marketing is not working? Is it cold outreach? Is it warm outreach? Is it reigniting historic leads? Which part specifically is your bottleneck, right? So, real world examples. There are three main types of businesses, right? Product, SaaS, and service. I've got examples of bottlenecks for each. And these are cases that I worked on personally for all of them. So I can warn you to see some real world examples. Starting off at the beginning, we have a marketplace merchant onboarding. A lot of my experience comes from working with marketplaces and founders are like setting them up. And this is the single most important problem they face. Okay. People come and they have a fantastic idea. They know who they're going to target most occasions, but they can't get people on the thing, okay? That'll be merchants and buyers alike. So the situation I'm presenting today be a platform built over 4 months that's ready to launch. What do I mean by that? Someone like yourself has spent 4 months creating marketing materials, documents, making it look fantastic. They started social accounts, but they haven't addressed the bottleneck to make the business run, which is having merchants available. Right? It's all well and good having these documents, but if you've got no one to sell to your buyers, you don't have a business. I'm sorry to say it, right? That's just the truth. So, fatal mistake, delayed merchant onboarding until the last minute. What we did, set up merchant accounts for the merchants on their behalf and manage them until a large volume of sales passed through, didn't charge until value was driven. So, in short, we took away all the pain points for them, right? They didn't have to set up an account, didn't have to manage the account, there was no fee to do the account. We presented them to a pre-made account and said, look, free sales channel, can we run it for you? If it works, you keep it up. If not, no effort cost. Okay, so that was our offer to them. Results on absurd. The second one is an alternative cannabinoid business, right? So this is one that I was a lot closer with, okay, co-founded. Situation, no sales, relationship, or trust. So in Ireland, the alternative cannabinoid industry was booming, okay? Very limited in terms of competition though, right? There was a couple of key players and you're probably thinking, okay, if it was so big, why did no one get into it, right? the bottleneck for that business was importation, right? It wasn't a product issue. No one could get the stuff in. And that's due to importation legislation and compliance. People didn't understand how to work with the government to make it accessible. So the bottleneck was fear about compliance, quality, and risk. So buyers, they didn't know if they were going to get what they paid for, okay? They're putting their faith and their trust in you as a seller to guarantee that their order arrives, right? So the action, we did guaranteed delivery, third-party lab certificates, and guaranteed delivery or your money back. That was our policy. The results, sales increased by 300% and competitors left behind. So we became a market leader for certain products, which is fantastic. And we were able to do that through a guarantee that no one else could do. All right. The third and final one is a digital agency. So this is pretty much any digital agency. If any of you guys here are running a digital agency, it's almost always a trust deficit. I know you can probably attest to this, right? It's almost always trust. Why would I go with you? Can you promise what you're going to do? Like everything you say sounds fantastic, but where's the proof, right? So common mistake is they'll assume discounts lead to sales. Okay, let me just drop my price because then maybe the wager of my work versus the price they're paying levels out. You don't want to do that because if you can really do what you say you're going to do, why are you dropping your price, right? Either you're good or you're not, right? So the example would be prospects who were burnt by agencies before price isn't the issue, trust is. That's the bottleneck, right? So results, close rates increased, negotiation became smoother. What I'm trying to say here is we didn't drop price. We conveyed trust to guarantees, such as we'll do the work and then we'll go off of a performance base, right? You do certain offers to gather trust, and then once you get that trust, then you can start charging from the get-go based off of you have the experience, you have testimonials, you have referrals. People will pay you then once they know you're established. It's getting to that stage which is the issue. Okay, so like I said, this is an open work today, right? We're all communicating together, we're all trying to work on this together. Almost all of you have your own business. So I'd like you to ask yourself, what specifically is stopping your customer from saying yes, right? How much risk do they perceive? How can you take it off their shoulders? And what's the domino which, if toppled, can change everything? Okay, very important question for you guys to ask yourselves today. So, you have your business. Who are you targeting, right? You have to know who you're targeting to find out what their issue is. So this is defining your ICP or your ideal customer profile. So you've nailed the bottleneck. Now ask, who is desperate for this solution? Okay. Who is up at 2 a.m. freaking out because they got this massive problem that they can't fix? All right. Who's that person? Do you know them exactly? Right. I'm talking their age, demographic, interest, where they're located, as granular and specific as possible. Who is it hurting the most? Okay. So what's the pain they can't solve? Why you over all your competitors? If your answer doesn't make your value apparently superior to your competition, dive deeper, right? It should be a no-brainer. If it's not a no-brainer yet, you either haven't identified your ICP strongly enough or your offer isn't good enough. It's only one of the two. Is your offer so valuable that your ICP would feel silly to say no? That's usually a good question to ask. So now you've identified those two, 3 offers and anchoring. 3 offers is generally a good way to go about it, right? So you're anchoring your pricing. I'll explain in examples how to structure that. But yeah, pricing is never about being cheap, right? If you know who you're targeting and your offer is good, guess what? You're adding more value. And value translates to cash. Okay, like that's what you're getting out of this. You're now able to price higher because you can justify what you're offering to the right person who you're offering it to. That's how it works, right? So a good framework for pricing options would be basic. So strip back what solves their core constraint. Okay, premium is when you're trying to guide them to for most of the time. Extra guarantees, faster delivery, priority service, right? Blue ribbon is what I would say for that one. And then insane. It's actually quite good. So people generally, they'll have 3 where it's low, medium, and then high. And they're trying to push for the high one. You can make the high one the medium, right? And then have a high one be high for that extra niche person, right? It anchors the medium, which you're probably going to sell to them anyway, but you also have the option of getting a huge sale if that right buyer comes along, okay? So here's an example again of those three: basic, premium, insane. So basic, bottleneck killer; premium, VIP onboarding, extra support; and then insane, founder access, top perps, deep partnership, just going above and beyond. So what now? If your ideal clients aren't trying to work with you, their bottleneck is still not solved, go fix it. Okay? As simple as that. Either you don't have the answer for their issue, or you don't know who has the issue. Every founder hits stumbling blocks, but your journey is unique. Stop relying on guesswork or best practice. This workbook that's laid out there on your tables today is your shortcut from plateau to breakthrough. Okay? It goes deeper in all the actionable steps that I discussed today and gives you a framework to fill each section out to identify your ICP and offer. Always think, what's my biggest bottleneck? What are deals slipping away? Where are deals slipping away? Where are customers dropping off? And start writing, right? Let's get solving. So follow these steps to build a strong investable business and work with Ramsell Ventures. Thank you very much, guys. Cool. I should do one of those right there. Oh yeah, go for it. I'm on that time question. Yeah. And inside the digital agency where you said you need to build trust, so you up something for advice to build that trust. Yeah. There is a risk with doing that you do that work for a low price, and actually they go, okay, you've done enough now. Then they go away and they do it somewhere else. Is that a risk? So yes and no. I mean, I'd ask you, right? If you're a buyer and you're scared of partnering with a different digital agency and you find one who does good work like me for free, why would you then start that over again and try to find a new agency to work with, right? Why would you not stick with who you trust, which was the whole issue in the first place? You see my point? So it's a good question, but no, that would only occur if what you delivered. Yeah. Yeah. So no offense if people do that and it doesn't work out for them, right? But yeah, that'd be nice. But
Places it's a hugely saturated place. That's all. It's very easy to get you to. So.
anyone can set it up, right? Like we could all set up a marketing agency in 2 hours if you wanted to, right? Yeah, exactly. Who could do a good one? That's a harder question. So yeah, but good question. Great one. I guess I'm open from now if anyone has any additional ones.
Okay then, well, if anyone's got any questions for Jude, they can ask at the end.
Thank you so much, Jude. Right, welcome to all the new people here today. Thank you for coming.